What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Canadian Famous Podcast. It's episode number 9. I'm your host, Braydon Lynch. We're coming into you live late on May 21st, 2024. How's everybody's long weekend going? If you're in Canada, we're celebrating Victoria Day, the old May 2-4 long weekend. Yeah, I didn't do much. I just got in from LA on, I guess it was the Thursday, so I hung out with the partner for a little bit. Yeah, over the weekend, I just kind of got my bearings. I didn't do any comedy. Did I do comedy? Maybe I did do a set. I think I did do a couple of sets, actually. Yeah, I did. On Sunday night, I did some improv as well. Yeah, I went to the comedy clubs. That's right. I forgot I did that. How could I have forgotten him being so silly? Yeah, I've kind of been out of it since I've got back from LA. Not gonna lie, I'm still back on the West Coast time zone. That's why I'm up late right now. But yeah, traveling back was good. It's been good so far. I just got to get adjusted to the time zone. I feel like I've just been yeah, everything's just kind of chaotic and just swirling big time fog, but that's all right. LA was good. The rest of the trip, I'm trying to think of the last you guys heard from me. Oh yeah, I was at the Hollywood sign. That was sweet. There was a ton of immigrants up at the Hollywood sign. They should have called it the Bollywood sign. There's so many. Yeah, and then after that, I what did I do? Oh yeah, I took an Uber down to the Laugh Factory, and I did get up at the Laugh Factory. They drew my name, thank gosh. I did a set. I made the booker laugh. They didn't tell me that I should move to Hollywood and that I was going to get my own feature-length movie picture. That did not happen. But I made the booker laugh, so we're taking that as a win. The Uber drivers in LA were so crazy. There was like this one guy like tried to pull out, and it was like very like normal thing, I feel, for a driver. Like the person just like went to turn out too early and didn't see the Uber driver, and the Uber driver like swerved and like honked at this guy, and then she's like, "What the fuck is that guy's problem?" And she's like, "That was crazy." I was just laughing to myself. Then I had another Uber driver later on who he was talking to me, and he was saying how, oh yeah, the city of LA is so nice now that they moved all the homeless out because the Olympics are coming in a couple of years. So he said that they cleaned them all out, and it's better in the one part of the city. And then I said, yeah, it's nice here. I wouldn't mind living here. I said, but I said the smog is terrible. Oh, the smog. And he goes, oh no, that's not. And he's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, oh, all the smoke. I was up at the Hollywood sign. I said, I looked out. There's a big smoke, big haze over the city. And he's like, oh no, that's just a cloud that comes in from the water every day. I'm like, dude, it's pollution. It's smog. You're in a city of 10 million people. Like, you guys are notoriously known for having smog. And I guess if you grew up there, they're probably not going to want you to know that you're breathing in smog your whole life. But yeah, I think I talked enough about the smog on the last episode. This guy, he didn't even know. He didn't even think it was real. Anyways, so yeah, I did a set at the Hollywood Improv. I don't know if I talked about this, but I went to the Roosevelt Theater. Or, no, not the Roosevelt Theater, the Roosevelt Hotel. Walked around in there. That was nice, fancy, old, landmark, right? And so I walk in there, and I kind of walk through, and right away the front desk, I don't know if I look like I'm up to no good or if it's because I'm tall or whatever, but people are just like, sir, or if it's I'm ugly or something, or I just look out of place. This girl though at the front desk, she's sir, and she went to like stop me, and I just like I just booted past her and just kept walking, put my head down. And then I got over to the lobby of the one part and checked it out. I'm like, oh, this is pretty sick, eh? And then so I go into the coffee shop, I get an espresso, $10. And I'm like, there's no way I'm eating here. This place is a dump. And so I'm like, I'm feeling like I'm judged. Like, they're like, oh yeah, charge the guy $10 for an espresso. It was nice, but I felt like I didn't fit in. And so I was like, you know what? Fine. Maybe I don't fit in your fancy hotels, but I'm going to take a shit in in the lobby washroom. So I went to the lobby washroom. It was all like old school, like wooden and whatever. It felt like the washroom was haunted. I'm not gonna lie. So I took a greasy, steamy shit in the Roosevelt Hotel washroom. Was it solid? I don't think it was. The diet's never good when you're traveling or if you're on tour or something like that, when you're not at home. It's tough keeping that diet, keeping that starting roster active, so to speak. But yeah, so I took a shit in the Roosevelt Hotel lobby. That was sweet. What else did I do? Oh yeah, we went to Universal Studios, my buddy and I don't know if I talked about this on the last episode, but went to Universal Studios. We went on all the rides and shit like that, and it was sick. And during the one ride, I think we were on, it was the Mummy roller coaster, and so we go and we get strapped in or whatever, and then this couple comes on and they go to close it, and they couldn't close it on the one lady. And I mean, it's terrible. I'm not fat shaming, but it was kind of funny that they tried to close it, and then it was just like they're just like, no, sorry, you can't. I guess that's the thing. It's like, oh, if the seatbelt thing won't close on you, you're too big. It's just like, no, sorry, you can't ride it. And the guy, like, it sucked because like the girl got off, but then the guy stayed. He wasn't like, well, I'm not gonna miss the fucking Mummy roller coaster. Like, he went on the ride, which I thought was funny. She just had to wait for him to finish. It was like, how was the ride? And he's like, good. Why'd you lose fucking 50, you fat piece? No, it's terrible. I felt bad for her. I did, honestly. The guy, we just knew that the guy just loved getting up in that. All right, that was perverted, was it? I don't know. I'm allowed to make fun of him. I'm chunky. I'm fat right now. I was walking on the Hollywood sign and I took my shirt off, and I swear people were just like, oh dear God, put it back on. Just some Canadian asshole with a big gut just just hanging out on me. I actually ran into my buddy the other day, and on the weekend actually at the comedy club, and we were chatting, and he said something, and then he's like, dude, I wasn't gonna say nothing. He's like, but when we were in Edinburgh, he's like, your fucking gut was huge. He's like, I was gonna tell you, man, like, you gotta fucking stop drinking because that thing is getting mad. I'm like, you son of a bitch. I feel like I lost a little bit of weight right when I got sober, but now I'm back in the sweets, and I've been doing basically the marshmallow Rice Krispie bars from Starbucks. Those things are killing me lately. I've been having a number of them throughout the week. Maybe one a day. Hey, keeps the doctor away. Little Rice Krispie cake from Starbucks keeps the doctor away. Yeah, no, I got to start doing the diet. Summertime is here, and I do not have a beach body. Is that going to stop me from going to Hanlon's Point and fucking getting naked and whipping out my donger? Probably not. I'll probably still go. Am I going to be attractive? No. Am I going to look like just a big Michelin man, big fat blob with my tiny little pecker hanging out? Yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing this summer. And that's all right. That's okay. Why? Because I'm 35 and I don't give a shit anymore. The more you get older, the more you realize you're just like, oh, I really don't care what people think of me. Deep down, like in certain things, I think I do. I do have an element of caring, but in terms of like physical appearance, and if I'm too much of a fat piece of shit and just a mess overall in my life, yeah, no, I don't really care at all. But I have actually been taking steps to get better. But no, I'm going to try and work on my diet here. Lose, probably, let's go for 25. Go for an easy 25 pounds in a couple months here. Hey, it's all proper diet and exercise, drinking water. That's a big part of it. Big part of it. I hate drinking water. I'm still sober, not drinking. And it's the most, like, water just sucks. When that's all you have to drink, it's like, I've been so dehydrated. I should probably have some water right now. I've been so dehydrated since I've got sober because I always just drink like beer and stuff, right? I was like, oh yeah, that's what, that's what I do, just drink, and then you're pissing, and you just, I don't know, for whatever reason, you mix in water here and there, and it's something about having it in between beer isn't too bad. But Yeah, now that I quit, I barely drink water. Just always knocking back espresso every day, and my piss has just been bright yellow. Should probably start drinking more water. I'll probably lose some weight, but honestly, I hate it. I hate drinking water. When that's all you've got, it's just oh. And I know people, oh, fizz it up, oh, the bubblies, oh, the LaCroix, oh, just give me a break. It's fine, I guess. Whatever. I hate the fact that you have to drink water, that you have to drink 2 liters a day, minimum 2 liters a day, I would say. And for Americans, that's what, half a gallon? Half a gallon? I think they say you're supposed to drink a gallon of water a day. 3.9 liters of water. That's one of them big 4 liter milk jugs, that we had back in Saskatchewan. I don't think you guys got them here in Ontario. I think you guys do bag milk. I think those bags are 1.5ers or 1.3. Not too sure. Anyway, um, yeah, I do. I hate drinking water. Being sober is good though. I will say that. Drinking water, you don't end up pissing anybody off. You don't do anything that you regret. You don't wake up going, "Oh, I wish I didn't say that," or or "Who did I talk to last night?" That doesn't happen when you just drinking water. I will say though, I hate security guards in general. Like I said, going into the Roosevelt Hotel, they stop. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa! I don't know what it is. I like they're just my arch. Bartenders and security guards are my arch nemesis. Like they just hate me. They hate me. I went to go into Whiskey A Go Go in LA, and the guy just searched me right down, and he's like, "Oh, what's in your back pocket?" I'm like, "Oh, it's weed." He's like, "Oh, that can't come in." He's like, "You're gonna have to go stash it, or you're gonna have to leave." And I'm like, "What are you talking? Like, can't you just let me go through? Like, I'm sober. I don't like. I'm not causing a crap." But I think it's just people. The security guard sees me, and yeah, this guy's up to no good, right? And they just wand me down. They're like, just shit talking me, trying to get me to say, trying to get me to fight. They're just like, "Yeah, you piece of shit. Oh yeah, you think you're cool? You're sober." These are all the voices that are just playing in my head that I was talking about. The voices, they do not stop. I don't know if you guys know how to stop the voices or silence them. I mean, I do. It's so tough implementing. It's so tough putting it into perspective and actually doing it, like the meditation and all that stuff. Man, is it tough doing in routine, throughout the day and quieting those voices. You know, they always bounce in for me. Maybe that's why I go. Maybe I just look guilty when I show up to clubs and whatever, and they're like, "Oh yeah, this guy no good." Spread them out. I'm like, "Yeah, can you stick a finger in my ass?" They're like, "All right, kick this guy out." So yeah, I went to Whiskey A Go Go. That was cool. There's some band. What is it with guys when they paint when they got the sunscreen on their nose? Why do they do that? There was one guy. He had his shades on, and he had and he's singing. It was this 80s fast time band or whatever, and it was at Whiskey Go Go, and they're pumping all these 80s tunes. The guy was singing Billy Joel, I think, and he had glasses on, and he had a big, like, long, like, surfer hair, and he had a surfer shirt on, and then his nose was all white, like it was sunscreen. Why do they do that? Is that key for doing the yippee yayos? Is it? Are they all doing coke with sunscreen on their nose? I don't know what it is, but the guy had sunscreen on his nose, and he was just, "Run a rebel, yeah, grandma, ma, ma." I think that's Billy Joel. Or maybe no, that's Billy Idol. I think it's Billy Idol, Rebel Yell. I don't think he was a drunk. Billy Joel's a drunk who's got the DUIs. Um, I don't think Billy Idol does, but yeah, so I did that. The bouncers, they hate me, but at least I'm still done drinking. Knock on wood. I think we're 91. I don't know why. I don't got to knock on wood. I can't do it anymore. I think I'm 91 days without a drink, which is good because it's just like, me and drinking is like a big titted chick trying to run. It's not good. It's not happening. And they both remind me of my mom. But no, I can't do it. I can't do it. Just like a chick with big titties can't run. I can't drink. I won't stop. I won't stop. I'll make an ass out of myself. Who knows who I'll hurt with the things I say. And, so I just gotta get it through my head that I just can't do it. And it is through my head. It's a non-negotiable now that I can't do it. It's like I'm allergic to it. If I drink it, I will end up dying. I will eventually. I will get to the point where I will die. So I can't booze anymore, and that's just the way it goes, you know. And there's tons of opportunities for chicks with big titties to run, and do other forms of exercise, just like me. I've got other forms of exercise, things that can make me happy. I don't need to drink. Truth be told, I'm loving having my senses about me. I saw a couple guys on the weekend at the comedy club that had been drinking a little too much, and I was just like, oh man, I was probably worse than that. I was worse than that. I just, oh God, don't miss that. I don't miss that at all. I've got to go to the dentist tomorrow. This dentist, I'm telling you, these guys are just, it's complete crooks. It's a complete cult. Dentistry is a cult. It's insane how they get away with charging as much as they do. They ask, oh, they're $500 for X-rays. Are you kidding me? That X-ray machine looks like it's from 1980s. Like, those things have obviously paid for themselves. Why are X-rays so expensive from the dentist? It just drives me crazy. I finally got all the work done on like all my fillings, my crowns, everything, and I got some done in Mexico or whatever. So I come back, I tell my dentist, oh yeah, I got this crown filled in and that, and he did another piece of work. He had to re-put on two of my crowns on the front, and he had to re-cement them or whatever. And so then after, I'm like, okay, so are my fillings all good? And he's like, oh yeah, I think we'll have to take some more X-rays to figure it out. I'm like, you don't need to take X-rays, and I know that because the guy in Mexico didn't take X-rays, and he could tell where the cavities are. I know you can tell just by looking at them where the cavities are. So why do we need to do this X-ray thing? Why are we doing this? Why are we doing this? You're just trying to scam me. I'm not getting scammed. Just if you want to do the fillings, tell me where the fillings are and how much, and let's get them done. If you don't want the money for them, then fuck it. I'll just leave them unfilled. It's a biggest racket getting a filling. Oh, getting a filling. Oh, you need a filling. Oh, what? All a filling they drill out the hole that's already there. They drill it out even more, and then they put in fake shit, and then they hope that the hole stops getting big. What? What? To prevent what? It's eventually going to keep going. Like, it's insane to me. I hate dentistry. I actually do. It boils my blood. So I got to go there tomorrow. Like I said, I just got these two crowns here re-cemented, and I get it re-cemented, and then I'm down in Texas and I'm eating something that I no effing way. A piece of the crown or the cement or something came loose, and there's chip in my tooth, and now there's food getting in it and the back, and it's just like, son of a gun. I got these things done a year ago, and it was 8,500, something like almost 9 grand to get these teeth done, and they were loose. I've had to go back so many different times to get them re-cemented, then they get put in place, and then now this one's cracked. Like, I'm just 9 grand. Are you kidding me? That's the price of a car, like a mid-size SUV, a family van. 9 grand. I could buy a motorhome for that. $9,000, and it's a lemon. I got to keep getting them, and the lemon is in my mouth. 9 grand, just a junk car right here in my mouth. Like, man, does it drive me crazy? And every time the dentist is like, oh, just enjoy. How do you enjoy them, buddy? How do you enjoy them when I got to keep coming back here? You sold me a shitty car. What do? When you get sold a shitty car, you can at least take it back to the dealership and go, oh, no, you screwed me over. Actually, I don't think it matters then either. They just screwed you over. Dentists and car salesmen are the fucking two. They're the exact same fucking people. Just assholes. Pricks. Right? And that's why dentists, number one, most suicide job. Good. You're assholes. You are. You're screwing everybody over. And I'm guessing number two, most suicide jobs, car salesman. Probably because you guys rip people off too. At least, if you buy a lemon of a car, you can like try and resell it to somebody else. You take a loss. When you get a lemon for teeth, how do you take the car back when it's in your mouth? So I hope the guy fixes it tomorrow and it's just kind of be over and done with. Then gonna find a new dentist. So if you guys know one, let me know. Because I'm on the look. Because this guy, man, maybe they're all. I feel like they're all like this. They're all just criminals, all crooks. They're all. That's everyone nowadays. They're all crooks and criminals and salesmen and dentists. All just trying to take our money, even though it's not worth anything. Canadian dollar is so shitty right now. It's brutal, and like you don't notice it until you're down somewhere else. But the good thing is that that price hasn't reflected, because like I said, like down in LA and stuff, and even in Austin, Texas, espresso down there, $4, 3.75, right? Same price as here. So, we're actually getting a deal because we're only paying $2 for our espressos up here, eh? And we're paying $2 American for espresso up here. So, consider ourselves lucky that we live in Canada, and our economy's in the toilet completely. I think it is, anyways. That's what they say. The dollar's down, and you're taxing me more. And Pierre Poilievre is gonna save the day and build more houses. The country's fucked. I'm quite certain. That's why I don't know. I'm thinking about moving to the States. I think it would be sick living in LA. I thought about it when I was there. I was like, can I see myself living here? And I don't know. Right as I was pondering it, I saw there was a there was a gay couple that walked by. Excuse me. As soon as I say something mildly offensive, like, oh, excuse me. Yeah, so no, as soon as I started pondering it, I saw there was a gay couple. And there's something about a gay couple living in a place where you're like, if the gays can live here, I can live here, right? So I see this gay couple and I'm like, I could definitely live here in LA. But thinking about it, honestly, I think like gay guys are more assertive than I am. I am the worst at speaking up for myself or being like, oh, hey, no, like if I was walking down the street and like a homeless guy came up to me late at night or a black guy, I'm just kidding. If a homeless guy comes up in the middle of the night and it looks like I'm like gonna get robbed or something like that, I just walk to the other side of the street, right? I just cross over and just like walk fast and mind my business. But if a homeless guy or whatever was walking up late at night, looked like he was gonna rob a gay guy would just be like so assertively just be like, bitch, get your unmoisturized fucking ass out of my face, like they got spice, in them, so I don't know if I'll move down to LA or not. I've been considering it. The smog's a big one for me. That's a big killer for me. Maybe I'll just kind of go down there a few more times, see if I do enjoy it. Maybe take some classes or something like that when I'm down there. Oh yeah. So there's the Irish. They're all up in arms. The Irish are up in arms because the refugee asylum seekers are coming to Ireland and they're like, no fucking way, we don't want you. They're like, you're going to taint our bloodline. Like, Ireland is so racist. It's fucking awesome. Like, they're just a country that I don't think anyone takes serious. They just drink, They're just a bunch of drunks and they act politically how you would think a country full of fucking boozers would think, it's just like, they're like, yeah, go Palestine. They're like, just totally like, yeah, cheer for the, and I'm saying you can take whatever side on that you want. It doesn't matter in my, it feels like they're just like rebels, they always want to be on the bad guy side, I think in the war, I don't think they were in the war. I think they stayed neutral. They didn't pick a side. I feel like they're just rebels. They just want to booze, do their thing, right? And yeah, they're like, no, we don't want immigrants here. We just want to keep it pure. And I'm like, hey, that's all. I've been saying it. I've been saying it. And no, that's terrible. But I don't mind having immigrants here. I do not dislike having immigrants here in Canada. I don't dislike them. I just wish there were less. That's all. I just wish they, it was back in good old days. I don't know why. I'm sure they'd feel the same. If there were a bunch of white people going into India, I think they'd probably go, wow, why the fuck are there so many white people here? I feel. I don't think it's bad to say it. I think everybody thinks it. I don't know what's going on with those cars. You see, there's so many rich people, and this might, Maybe it is immigrants driving the cars, but they drive them really bad and they ram, pop, 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 and you hear the car backfiring. Like, what is it that makes it backfire? I think it's when there's too much gasoline and it goes through the carburetor and the gasoline doesn't ignite or whatever, and so then that's maybe making it backfire and going pop, 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 pop. But somehow somebody has got to figure out a system that they can put on these cars for these guys who drive them down here, because they do not know how to drive cars. I see it on the Mercedes, BMWs, all these cars that are like souped up or whatever. These guys are driving and they bam, pop, 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 pop. It's always backfiring. Like, come on, do you not realize how ridiculous and how dumb you sound driving that piece of crap? It's just, you're just so hungry for attention. You gotta have small dick if the exhaust is backfiring like that. That's what I gotta think. I was thinking about, like, I was talking with a buddy earlier, and it got me thinking of, like, when I was younger, like the cars and shit. Being like a kid in high school with fast cars, like that should be illegal too. Maybe not illegal, but I remember my buddy had a Mustang and we were in the Mustang and we were doing at least 200 kilometers in the Mustang, and like he passed a couple people, he passed somebody on the shoulder of the highway. Like, in hindsight, we were maybe 17 years old. There's no way. There's no way he was experienced enough of a driver to be pulling that off. I mean, we got lucky. Yeah, he was a good driver. He had done it a lot, but wasn't a professional. Like, driving down the highway like that, and I'm like I said, I'm quite certain I remember passing a cop, and the cop just put his lights on and then put him off because he was just like, "There's no way we're gonna be able to catch that guy." By the time the cop turned around and like caught up, there's no way they would catch him. We were going like 200 past the vehicle, went out the pass, and boom, someone right there, boom, takes the shoulder because he was about to rear end it. Takes the shoulder and passes the guy. Like, jeez, we could have died so easily. The things, and you don't realize it. Everything that you hear your whole life when you're a young kid, you hear, "Oh, you kids shouldn't be driving fast." And you're like, okay, shut up, you old man. But then you do get to be older and you're like, holy fuck. Like, how the wisdom of it. It's like, yeah, we were stupid. And I was such a dumb kid in high school. The things I did, like, if I could go back and get all of the money and time that I've spent trying to come, I would be, oh, I'm telling you, man, that would take off definitely a couple years of my life. Definitely add a couple 100,000, maybe not 100,000, but definitely a couple thousand back in the bank account, right? Like, I've spent so much time and money trying to come. Whether it's like, on porn, looking at pornos, dating websites, MSN back in the day, Snapchat, all of these things. Like, it is insane how much time and money I've spent trying to come. That's one thing that if I could go back to being a young kid, I'd go back and I would never whack off. I'd just save it all. Save up all the time, all the money, and all the cum. Just save it all up and just keep it. Whenever when I lose my, well, maybe, I don't know, maybe I could have lost my virginity. Maybe like keep it under 5. I feel like having a high notch count too, not a good feeling. Let's keep that thing under 10, right? Keep it intimate. Keep it intimate. Um, I wish so badly that I could have all the time back that I've had whacking off. Well, and the money that I've spent trying to get laid. Oh, oh, I would be so far ahead. The wise old owl says. That's like one thing. You're like 15. You get like a glimpse into the future. You get to talk to like some old wise owl and be like, "Sir, tell me, what is the key to life? How can I have the most blessed life and be very successful?" And I was just like, "Don't spend time or money trying to come. Just come when it feels right." Ah, I'm so numb from coming so much. I think I think I'm getting old. So there's times like where it's like partner she'll like want to be like, "Oh yeah, we should like maybe get a little frisky," and I'm just like, "Oh, that chore." Yeah, there was one time I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not feeling like it. It's like, what? I would have never thought those words would have came out of my mouth. But here we are, 35, and maybe my testosterone is starting to go down. Maybe life isn't all about fucking. Maybe that's it. Maybe I'm maybe I'm mature now. Well, if this is life mature, I don't want to live it. No, I'm just kidding. I still like coming. Obviously, it's the greatest feeling in the world. Got to be one of them. But yeah, the work for it. It's just like it's repetitive. It's like eating. You do it so much, and eating is good, but it's like drinking water. It's like, oh, really? Oh, I gotta work. Oh. That's how I've been feeling lately. Um, I hope Trump gets back in. Or I don't hope he gets back in, but I'm excited for the race. I'm excited just to have him back in the news. I want to find out what's going on with all his like trials and stuff. It sounds like they're trying to wrap them all up so people know if they can vote for him or not. Um, he is just so entertaining. I saw his star on the Walk of Fame, and it's just like this guy is fucking. He's money. He's been in the money forever, but he's so funny. Um, he's just a troll. He's a massive troll, and it's exciting. Let's face it, Biden is a snooze fest. It's like, come on. The country is obviously running itself. We can see that. It's being ran itself. Biden's not running the country. It just proves that the country will run by itself. So, why not have someone who is entertaining as the guy? Why can Trump not be the guy? It's all gonna happen the way he's not gonna change anything drastically. The country's gonna run, and it's gonna do the same shit, right? You know, at least you could have him just chirping people like, "Oh, you're a loser. You're a loser." I just pictured when I saw the Donald Trump star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, just being like, "Oh, what's the matter, Joe? Huh? You don't got a star? Oh, you don't even got a star, Joe. Look at Trump. I've got one on the Walk of Fame. Where's your star, Joe? I don't think you got one, do you? No, you don't." Just he's just a captain shit talker, and I love it. Um, it made me realize being down in the States, like the implication of politics, and I get why they're so crazy about it down there. Because there's so many people down there. It's huge. I don't get why it's as big as it is, but they love it down there. Like being a Republican, like I wasn't even in any Republican places, so I don't really know um, how intense they are. But you see, I met a couple of them, and you're just like, okay, yeah, that's them, that's them for sure. Um, and that's the beauty part of America. I don't know if this RFK Jr., I think he's running as an independent, but it sounded like everybody was all up on his D. Everybody's loving RFK or Robert Kennedy Jr. Imagine he gets assassinated. That would just be wild. That's proof it's a simulation if Buddy gets assassinated. It's like, what? I think he's running as an independent. Who knows? I don't know if he can win it as an independent. One would think not, but he seems popular. He's probably got the popular vote, I would say. Maybe. I don't know. I honestly have no idea. But I do know that everybody down there was like, I'm going to vote for RFK, RFK. And I'm like, is he Republican? I've got no idea. Maybe he is Democratic. I don't know. Makes me want to get into it a little bit. Maybe if I move there, right? If I'm going to be moving there, you got to get into the politics. Then I'm going to be like, actually, Trump is not the best for us. But I mean, honestly, like I said, I think there's people that are way above Trump, way above Biden, that are running the country. Those strings get played. Just the puppeteers play the puppets. And the country's whatever happens is gonna happen. It's not because of anybody who's got their face in the picture in the box saying, "Hey, I'm the one who's calling the shots." They're not calling the shots, but I do like that Trump just chirps everybody. He's just a major troll. It's fucking. I think it's hilarious. Um, the only thing I've been worried about lately, now that I'm not drinking, is coffee. Last call when you shut her down from drinking. You go from being like, oh, when you shut her down boozing, and then it's like you just keep boozing until you pass out. But that's the problem with espresso. You don't pass out. You just keep going and going and going and going. So there's got to be a time where you go, okay, we're a hard cutoff here. She's 6 p.m. We can't have an espro. We can't have another spro. We're gonna be up late. Last night, I think I had one about 7:30. I was sitting in bed, just mind racing, just fucking going like an engine backfiring. Call back. Yeah, I gotta watch how much coffee I have, but it's yeah, I will notice. And that's the thing is like I'll be out there and I want a coffee, but then my store's closed. Some coffee stores just go a hard out. Excuse me, they do a hard out at 4 p.m. Just nope. Nobody needs coffee after this. It's like, oh yeah, what about the what about the what about the ex drunks, the people who don't drink anymore? We need a little something, right? That's what I think of as like, you see, I like all these old timers who get sober, and quit drinking. All these old timers, like, oh, I did this in my sobriety and I didn't do this, and blah, blah, blah. It's like, yeah, you got sober back in the 90s when you couldn't have liquor fucking dropped off at your doorstep. You couldn't be gambling on your phone laying in bed beside your wife. The amount of things that we have, like if you wanted to get an escort or if you wanted to go on a date with somebody, you had to go and look in the newspaper. You had to go to a crummy part of town and find a hooker to fuck. Nowadays you can just do her on your phone. It's a lot harder. It's a lot harder getting sober nowadays. Well, maybe it's easier too because of the resources, but man, the amount of things you can do just off your phone. You be laying in bed, order up booze. You can't order weed yet. I don't think. Oh, you can. Or yeah, you got drug dealers that'll drop off for sure. You could order up weed to your house. You could order up coke to your house. You could order up booze, anything. And those guys back in the 90s, they got to go and score down. Oh yeah, I just got to go walk down and into a back alley to score. Here nowadays, everything just by the drop of a boom, just on your phone, done. Most times you don't even got to see the guy. Yeah, just leave my beer at the doorstep. I don't want you to see how much of a drunken degenerate I am. You go and you grab it and you're in your underwear. Um, Good times. The time back from coming. Oh, yeah, I think I maybe talked about this one before, but do you guys think Sydney Sweeney has a personality, or do you think her personality is just tits? So I feel like it's just tits. Like you just talk to her and she's just like, huh? She just like pushes her tits for her. Like, I don't know. Maybe she's a sweet gal. I don't know. But I feel like she's all tit. All tit. No personality. That's just my opinion. And you know what? I think people shouldn't have opinions. Yeah. I think there's enough people out there nowadays. Everybody's got their own opinion. Everybody's got opinions. Keep them to yourself. You don't need to share them. That's the problem with the phones and everything nowadays is everybody's sharing their opinions. Everybody thinks their opinion's so important. I think if your opinion is good enough, you should get paid for it. I don't think you should be able to have an opinion unless you're getting paid for it. If somebody's saying, okay, here, I'm giving you money to give me your opinion, then you can give it to them. If not, shut the fuck up. We got enough opinions out there. We don't need any more. But you guys are listening to my opinion because you're listening to the podcast. Thank you for doing that. Like and subscribe. If you do listen to the podcast, hit the like button, subscribe, share it. Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to keep plugging these out week after week, hopefully releasing them on Tuesdays. And yeah, we'll start building it bigger and better, getting guests. I'll get better at this as time goes on. And you guys will keep listening and you'll keep interacting. We'll just have all around good fun. Opinions. Oh yeah, my chat GPT, I'm pretty sure it thinks I'm dumb. It said something and it's like, oh, I'm not quite sure your opinion is accurate here. And I'm like, oh, you're basically calling me dumb is what you're doing, aren't you, chat GPT fucking robot? This is the shitty thing. It's like they're talking about these chat GPTs being on, on Bumble. I think I already talked about this, but whatever. I think I heard on Bumble that these chat GPTs are going to be dating. that we're going to have an AI persona that dates another AI persona, and then you find out if you're compatible. And it's just like, sure, why not do that? Take that out of everything. You're already using the vibrators, you're already using robots in sex, to make the women come. Like, no guys are making the women come just from just straight penetration, right? We all know it's the vibrator, or am I the only? I just admit it. I'm like, I can't make a girl come unless I use a vibrator. I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure that's the case. That they all need a little 5 horsepower to get her off, right? Quite certain. Um, this is the funny thing that I found out, and I'll end the podcast on this. So we'll go. Beat up 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 beat up 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 beat up 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 tugging it and tugging it and tugging it. We're tugging it and tugging it, tugging it, tugging it and tugging it and tugging it, tugging it Tuesdays. Okay. The Tugging It Tuesday segment was supposed to be on getting the time back from all the time that you've spent tugging it. I want all the time back. All the money and all the time back that I've ever spent trying to tug it, trying to come. I want all of it back. And I want all my cum back too. Keep it in there. Keep it fresh. I feel like there's got to be years of my life that I've spent. At least a couple full years that I've spent masturbating, thinking about masturbating, watching porn, doing things. Like, it's crazy to me. I found this out. This is something that I thought was funny. Anyways, I'll tell this story and then that's it. So one of my exes got married, and I always compared myself to the guy. I always felt like shitty that it worked out with them and it didn't work out with me, between me and her. And one time we were at an event, she chirped my mustache, called me a pedophile, and that night I ended up freaking out, and I sent her some really mean messages. I felt terrible about it. I've apologized since to her and him, and I've tried making amends on that. I felt bad about it. Anyways, they're married, and I always kept comparing myself to this guy, to the guy that my ex married this guy. And I always kept comparing myself to him, right? I was single, comedian, he's married to my ex, and he owned a furniture store, right? And I was just always comparing myself to this guy. And then they got divorced. So I was like, okay, maybe I'm all right. Maybe I'm too hard on myself, right? And then the other day I heard that he got charged for sexually assaulting a minor. And then I was like, all right, looks like, I'm in the clear here. Maybe I don't own a fucking furniture store, but pretty sure I'm not a pedophile. So I thought that was fucking funny. It's I'm not doing so bad after all. Anyways, guys, that's been the podcast. Tune in next week, May 28th. Maybe we'll have a guest next week for you. If not, thanks for tuning in. Make sure you like and subscribe, and we'll check you later.